More second-round picks are getting fully guaranteed deals. Chiefs and Jets seem to have their hands in their wallets. And TJ Watt just can't seem to keep his name out of the top paid players in the NFL. And we're going to cover all this in this episode. But first, you have anything to say? All right, that's it. You don't get to say anymore. You're done. You're done. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Tackle Talk Network. I'm your host, Graham Higby. That's my brother, Hal. Don't worry about him. We are currently on family vacation. If you can tell, I'm not normally in my normal set. Say hi, Hal. You already did say hi. All right, but we're going to jump right on into this. So, first things first, to get y'all started, more second-round picks are getting fully guaranteed deals than ever in NFL history. In fact, before this year, it's almost never happened, or it actually hasn't ever happened. But more players are getting fully guaranteed deals now from the second round than ever. Players like Nick Emmanwori, running back Trayvon Henderson from the Patriots, and Omar Norman Lott from the Kansas City Chiefs all secured fully guaranteed deals just in the last couple days. And then Jets' Mason Taylor, the tight end, secured a 91% guaranteed deal himself. So it's very, very crazy. But the Seahawks, we continue on them. The Seahawks released tight end Noah Fant after just 3 seasons. If you remember him, he's been kind of a jock when it comes to fantasy football, as he's been constantly the top 10 or in the top 10 best tight ends the last couple of seasons. He's caught over 32 touchdowns and 1,400 receiving yards in those 3 seasons with the Seattle Seahawks. But he was also involved in that trade with Russell Wilson. He was on the Broncos at the time and got traded with other picks and incentives over to the Seattle Seahawks when Russell Wilson, or Mr. Unlimited, was indeed traded. Next, we have Bengals defensive end rookie Shamir Stewart still does not report to training camp. As it is currently right now, July 20th, multiple teams have already started bringing in rookies for their training camp because they had rookie mini camp and other OTAs and stuff a couple weeks ago or a month ago. And so now they're bringing in the rookies a couple days before the vets so they can get a head start on training camp stuff. But Shamar Stewart did not show up, and things are not looking good there for the Bengals. They haven't been able to trade Trey Hendrickson or Shamar Stewart. But with that all being said, let's get into some signings where some money has been being shelled out the last couple of days. First, we start with Chiefs' George Karlaftis signed a 4-year, $93 million contract extension that includes $62 million in guarantees. This is absolutely stunning and an excellent move by Brett Veach and the Kansas City Chiefs to keep Karlaftis for at least another 3 to 4 seasons. He is a stallion. I hope that we can now sign Trent McDuffie, because they are both amazing and they were both first-round picks in that 2021 NFL Draft. Next, you had the Saints, who, yes, this is a rookie, and he did indeed get another full guaranteed deal in the second round, but I kind of want to talk about it a little bit more. Saints quarterback Tyler Shough, who, from Louisville, signed a fully guaranteed deal of $10.795 million. And in that contract, there's my other brother. Say hi.
Oh, hi.
Nah, okay, he doesn't get to talking. Here we go.
Orders for dinner. What kind of pizza do you want?
Pizza?
What kind? What toppings?
What kind of pizza is the best pizza? Let me know down in the comments. Give me a good pizza. I don't know. Okay. Sorry, folks. That out of the side. Okay, they want a bacon pizza. All right, next up here, the Saints. They signed Tyler Shough to a $10.795 million deal, fully guaranteed throughout his full ride as a Saint. I believe it's going to be 4 years. With that being said, the Saints have locked in, and they're securing that Tyler Shough will be probably their starting quarterback this upcoming season. And he is another rookie from this 2025 draft class, picked at number 40 in the second round of the draft in 2025, that he got a fully guaranteed contract. It's becoming something of a norm rather than an unnormal, and I'm sure in the next couple of years we'll start to see third-round picks get it, fourth-round picks get it, fifth-round picks get it, I guarantee you Shedeur Sanders wishes the 5th rounders got it this year because he would love that, even though he signed his deal a couple weeks ago. Now we get this. Now we get to go into some big boys. The Jets signed 2 massive contracts back-to-back just a couple of days ago, starting with Sauce Gardner, signing a 4-year, $120.4 million contract, and Garrett Wilson signing a 4-year, $130 million contract. They are definitely securing their wide receiver 1 and their cornerback 1 on both sides of the ball. Both of them are superstars, really good receiver and cornerback duo there for the Jets. Don't blame them one bit. That is a big chunk of change, but when you're as sucky as the Jets are and Justin Fields is your starting quarterback, I do feel like they're going to have a good season this year, but we'll just remains to see. Next, back with the Kansas City Chiefs. I wanted to cover this one later in the video so you could watch longer. You got robbed. Anyways, Chiefs right guard Trey Smith signs a 4-year. By the way, there's some irony in this because this was 4 hours before the deadline because he was on a franchise tag, and that franchise tag expired by July 10th, which was 10 days ago, or July 15th, but it expired and at a certain time, and they got it done 4 hours before the deadline. With that all being said, out of the way, he signed a 4-year, $94 million deal with $70 million guaranteed, locking up the guard position on the right side for the Kansas City Chiefs for the next 4 years. I love this deal. I'm so glad. And yes, he is the highest paid guard in the NFL if you look at it from an annual standpoint. Not necessarily big contract, but since he's getting paid well over the $20 million mark per year, he absolutely is the top highest paid guard in the NFL. So now we have the highest paid center and the highest paid guard in the NFL, protecting one of, if not the best quarterback of all time to step on the field for the Kansas City Chiefs. But next, a little bit more news before we get into some exciting TJ Watt news. Stick around for that. But first, the Bears extended Brian Poles, their GM, which is their general manager, which is the guy that normally makes the draft picks and other roster decisions with a bunch of other people, but he's like the head guy, the general manager. So the GM got extended for 5 years for the Bears. Apparently they like what he's done in the last couple of seasons. I mean, if you look at it, none of his draft picks have really, panned out so far. I guess Caleb Williams, but Caleb Williams will probably be decent this season, so congrats to the Bears, and hopefully you didn't make a big, horrible decision, hopefully. Up next, Jauan Jennings once traded wide receiver. I can't tell who's wide receiver 1 at the moment because Brandon Ayuk should be wide receiver 1, but he's been dealing with some injuries and wants out, then he wants back in, but wants back out. Who knows? But Jauan Jennings is also once out of the 49ers, or apparently he wants to stay in California. We don't really know. He just said, hey, it's the last year of my deal. I'm only getting paid $7.5 million. Either trade me or pay me. And that's been a lot of what's been going on with some of these receivers and playmakers in this last offseason, and including last year's offseason. But Jauan Jennings wants a new deal done, or he wants to get shelled off to another team, probably Oakland Raiders, and then career will probably die from there. Next up, some Rashee Rice news. His court case got handled. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Rashee Rice was in an incident a while ago, like a year or two ago, where he was driving well over 100 miles an hour. I think it was like 110, 115, something like that, 120. I don't remember. He was driving way too fast. On the freeway, they were speeding, and basically they got into a car wreck. No major injuries. I believe there was some whiplash and some other things like that. I don't necessarily know all the details. Go look it up for yourself. I encourage you to do that. But Rashee Rice and his buddies just got up and fled the scene and left the people unattended and the Chiefs playbook in the car. That was just a big no-no. You can't be doing that in the offseason. But he was sentenced finally to 30 days in prison and 5 years probation. He has to spend those 30 days in prison throughout the next 5 years of his probation, and the league is probably going to suspend him here soon, very soon, as they can finish conducting their own research for themselves, and it'll probably be a 2 to 4 week suspension. How a suspension works is during the off season and in the preseason, the player can be with the team and practice with the team and play with the team in the preseason, but as soon as it hits week 1, game week, they are not allowed to be in the team facility or around teams during practice, like teammates during practice, or even in the team's facilities for those amount of weeks that they are indeed suspended. But after their suspension's lifted, in this case, Rashee Rice, probably 2 to 4 weeks. At worst, it'll be a 6-game suspension, but I don't think it should be that harsh, in my opinion. Then after that suspension is served, he will be allowed to return to normal activities. And yes, the most anticipated event that you've all been waiting for. This man has had an illustrious career. Himself, number 97, I believe is his number. Correct me if I'm wrong, but TJ Watt, Pittsburgh Steelers, finally got another deal done after several things going up in the air about him being traded to the Eagles or going back to the Steelers and signing a new deal or going somewhere else. He finally signed a 3-year, $123 million contract with $108 million fully guaranteed and $41 million a year annually he will be being paid, which currently makes him the highest non-paid quarterback in the NFL ever. For the second time in his career, and that's absolutely insane. How they get this much money, man, I'd love to make that much money, and a lot of people say these guys aren't worth that much. I don't think they are either, but if I was in their shoes, I'd say, heck yeah, I'm worth $123 million. With that being said, I appreciate you guys tuning into this episode. Please go back and check some of my other YouTube stuff out. I highly encourage you check out this video right here. This is my predictions for the upcoming season. With that all being said, I love you. Love to see you. You guys look handsome. Oh yeah. Damon, I know you're watching. Thank you. Or listening in the car. But as always, I'll see ya next time.